So you guys think this team is the worst team in the league? I'm here to make an argument that these guys are the worst team in the league. As a Detroit fan, I think that, I'm trying to be unbiased, but as a Detroit fan, we have some problems here. I know Steve Yzerman's his first year as a GM, but these guys work cut out for him right now. Pretty much going over a few things here real quick about why I think they're the worst team, why I think they should bottom out, and a little bit about the draft picks that are coming up in the different positions. So first we're going to go over, I'll step over this side so it's a little easier for you guys to catch it. The Detroit Red Wings, their record, 4-10-1 so far. Not a great record. So, going into that, players. Mantha leads them in goals. He has 9 goals. Bertuzzi has 8 assists, and Mantha leads the whole team with 14 points. So, the top line is pretty much the only line really doing anything at all in this team. But yeah, we'll get into the stats a little more. So, games played, Mantha, he has played 15 games, 9 goals, 5 assists, 14 points. As I said, he is leader in goals and points. Larkin, he's played in 15 games, 4 goals, 8 assists, 12 points. He has not been amazing up to this point. Bertuzzi, he's played in 15 games, 6 goals, 8 assists, 14 points. He started off really hot. He's kind of cooled off lately. Filip Hronek, I would argue, is the best defenseman that the Red Wings had at this point on the team. He's played in 15 games, 3 goals, 4 assists, 7 points, and he's also been pretty good on the power play too. He's been pretty good. Hirose is the next best, in my opinion, and point wise. He's played in 15 games. He has no goals, 5 assists, so 5 points. Overall, again, not great numbers, especially if you can lock down that top line. Not too hard to take this team down. And in my opinion, I felt this way for a while now with Larkin. I like Larkin. I don't think he's a top center. I think he's good, but I don't think he's amazing. I don't think he can power a top line. I think they need something a little bit better. Larkin is good. I just don't think he can be that number one center scoring setup guy. Like he's not going to be a Crosby. He's not going to be McKinnon. He's not going to be one of those all-star players. I never saw him as that player. I see him as a second-line person who could be dangerous and help support that first line. But again, I know a lot of people in Detroit love him. He's a hometown boy. I get that, but I don't think he's quite the caliber of a player that they're pushing him to be. Same with Bertuzzi and Mantha. They might be. Mantha, I guess, out of those three would probably be the best one. You know, he's been shaky until this year. But none of them really stand out as like, these are going to be like the all-star players for this team. This line is going to be able to carry us to a cup. So if you go over to this board, look at the goaltending stats. That's the next thing we're going to do. Jimmy Howard, he has played in 8 games. He's won 2 of them. He's lost 6 of them. His goals against average is 3.21. His save percentage is a 910. So his save percentage, and some of these stats might be a hair bit off. I did write down all these stats a day or two ago. Then we brought it up and things have changed. They played a couple games since. But overall, not great numbers. That's the gist you need to take away from this. Bernier, he's played in 7 games, 2 wins, 4 losses. He has 1 overtime loss. His goals against average is 3.51, and his goals against is an 8.85. So again, not amazing numbers from a goaltending either, but I don't blame it on Howard and Bernier. Bernier is a good backup. I think he's okay. Howard has shown glimpses of being an amazing goalie, but he's never really had a great defense in front of him. Case in point, that Hronek and Hirose are, in my opinion, and point-wise, the best defenseman we have. And we've sent Jonathan Ericsson down to the minors, which I think that should have happened a long time ago. But we just don't have the defensive support to help Howard and Bernier out. Plus, we have no goal scoring support. So not only are they not getting any help keeping it out of the net, they're not having any help getting pucks in the other net. So a lot of things are wrong with the Red Wings. A lot of things. Next thing that's wrong with them, kind of going to it, is the Griffins. You look at the Griffins stats, top prospects that aren't producing, that we were expected to kind of carry and move on and carry this team to the next level, the next generation of Red Wings. Right now, Chris Terry is one of the best players that we have right now in the minors. He has played in 8 games. He has 4 goals, 7 assists, 11 points. He's a +3, and he's scoring about 1.38 goals per game. So he's scoring over a point a game right now. Joe Hicketts, he was called up. Actually, I think the day I started writing all this up, he was called up for the Red Wings, but he's played 8 games for the Griffins. He's got no goals, but he has 7 assists. so 7 points. He has a -2, and he's scoring at a .88 goals per game, so just under a point a game. So again, he's defense. He's a winger. I think a left winger, right winger. He's a right winger. Sorry. So Terry's a right winger. Joe Hicketts is a defenseman. So those are kind of like the top 2 forwards and defensemen that we have in the minors right now. When you compare it to who we have in the minors that are supposed to be playing well, Philip Zadina, he's played in 8 games. He has 1 goal, 2 assists, so 3 points. He's a -4, and he's only scoring at a .38 goals per game. So not even at 50% of the games he's playing, he's scoring in. He's not doing great. Moritz Seider, I would say he's not at that point of not producing yet. Zadina and Joe Veleno have been on the team for a while. The 3rd year, I believe now. Third or I want to say 3rd, 4th year, somewhere around that range they've been playing now for the Red Wings in the minors. Not looking great for those two. Seider this is his 1st year. He just got drafted. So I give him a little bit of a break, is what I'm getting to. He's played in 8 games. He has no goals, 2 assists, so 2 points. He's a +3, though. So he's a +3. He's not on the goal when they're getting scored against. Or he's not on the ice when they're getting scored against, which is a good thing. Especially for someone we just drafted. A lot of people gave Eisman crap for. We need defensemen. He's a very good defenseman. He's played over in Europe. He's played against men. I can see him coming up eventually. Either this year or next year I could see him being on the Red Wings. And he's scoring at a .25 goals per game. So he's not scoring that often, but if he's staying a +3, that means he's not screwing up when he's on our end of the ice, which is good. You get to Joe Veleno now. He's played in 8 games. He has 1 goal, no assists, 1 point, and he's a -8 in those 8 games. So he's been on the ice for at least 1 goal in every game he's played. He is scoring at a .13 goals per game, so not very good at all. Joe Veleno, I would say almost at this point, he is a bust. I can see why he dropped to 30th overall. A lot of people projected him to do a lot more, and we're surprised he dropped to us at 30th. I'm starting to see why. This many years in, and he can't produce, even at the minor league level, to some extent, understandable. That's not good. Michael Rasmussen. I was actually at the draft he was drafted at, which is awesome. But he's also not doing that bad. I can see him getting called up, but again, he's maybe a 3rd, 4th liner. He's played in 6 games. He has 2 goals, 5 assists, 7 points. He's a +2. He's scoring at a 1.13 goals per game. So he's doing much better than most of the other ones I've mentioned already. But yeah, again, he's big body presence. I see him being on a power play, maybe a 2nd line power play, but definitely a 3rd or 4th line. I can't see him breaking the top 2 with the production he's shown so far. So overall, our prospect pool is not looking amazing. Our NHL team is not looking amazing. So my opinion, the Red Wings bottom out and become one of the last team in the league with the best chance at the draft this year, that's not the worst thing. I was looking up some of the stats for the drafts, like how it's gone lately, just the odds and all that stuff. So 2018-19 stats. Didn't have enough room on all the boards to read all this stuff out, so I'm going up the notes here. We had Colorado was 1st overall in 2018-19 with the 1st pick. They got that from Ottawa for the Matt Duchene trade. They had an 18.5% chance to draft number 1 overall, which obviously they didn't. And it was Jack Hughes, Russell Stallion. So it was the Sabres who ended up drafting first in this round. The Kings were 2nd at 13.5% of a chance. New Jersey at 11.5%. Detroit had a 9.5%. Buffalo had a... I'm sorry, I'm reading this all wrong. This is from last year's draft. This is where Jack Hughes was drafted. So I am sorry about that. I'm off by a year. Thought I did 2 years back. I only did 1 year back. So Colorado from Ottawa had 18.5% chance. They got that from the Matt Duchene trade. They obviously didn't get it. Los Angeles was 2nd with 13.5%. New Jersey, 11.5%. So obviously they jumped 2 spots and got that number 1 draft pick with 11% chance of getting it. Detroit was 4th at 9.5. We stayed at 6th for the 2nd year in a row, which is who we got in Will Seider, which a lot of people were upset about. Doing much better than Philip Zadina, in my opinion, so far. Then Buffalo was below us at 8.5. Edmonton, 6.5 below that. And then Anaheim was 6.0. Point-wise, I was looking at points because I was just going over the general stats of pretty much comparing last season to this season now. Points. Colorado/Ottawa had 64 points. They were 34 points away from a playoff spot. So that's why they had the greatest odds to get the number 1 draft pick. Los Angeles had 71 points. They were 19 points out. New Jersey had 72. They were 24 points out. Detroit was 74 points. They were 22 points out. So pretty much the gist of this, because Anaheim was the last one closest to the playoffs towards the bottom. They were 10 points out. So pretty much once you hit 10 points out of a playoff spot, you're pretty much not going to make that. It's very difficult in this league to gain 10 points on another team ahead of you. So I was looking now, translating kind of some of that to this year. The Red Wings are already 5 points out of a playoff spot. And that's, again, this was done a couple days ago, so I think they've lost 2 games since then. So probably even more points out of the playoff spot. So gauge probably about 7-8 points now at about. So when I did this, the Rangers had 9 points. They are 5 points out. Detroit has 9 points. They are 5 points out. San Jose has 9. They are 6 points out. Chicago has 8 points. They're 7 points out. Minnesota has 8 points. 7 points out. Los Angeles has 8 points. They're also 7 points out. Ottawa has 7 points. They're 7 points out. And New Jersey was at the bottom with 6 points, and they were 8 points out. So New Jersey was almost out, even though, again, it was October, and they have shown signs recently that they've moved up the standings a little bit since then. So pretty much saying that if Detroit keeps on the streak, they're going to drop out the playoffs. They're going to be towards the bottom, at least 10 points behind other teams, which records show you're 10 points out, you're not making the playoffs. At that point, you want to lose and try and get one of these 3 draft picks. So going into these draft picks, I picked one from a winger, a center, and a defenseman. The top, these are all picked as like the highest for their positions in the draft. So Alex Lafreniere, and again, I may be mispronouncing a couple of these, sorry, but he is projected to go number 1 overall in this year's draft, the 2020 draft. So he is 192 pounds, 87 kilograms. He's 6'1", 186 centimeters. He plays left wing. He's a big boy who can play the winger. He's got a lot of talent. I got to see him play at the World Junior Summer Showcase for Team Canada. He looked pretty good. He didn't do a whole lot there, but he looked good on the ice. He overall totals for the minors, his games played, he's played 137. I'm mixing up numbers left and right now. 137 games played. He's got 91 goals, 133 assists, so his totals are 224 points. And I believe it's 3 years in the minors. Yeah, so 3 years playing for the minors. So he's got good numbers, almost at 100 goals in 3 years. That's pretty good, especially considering how desperate the Red Wings are for goal scoring depth right now. And he could be a top winger to play on that line, possibly moving Mantha or Bertuzzi off, leave Larkin as the number 1 center for right now until we figure out something. And hey, maybe if he had 2 really good wingers, maybe Larkin would be that number 1 center. I could be proven wrong. Wouldn't be the first time. Quinton Byfield, he's projected to be the number 1 center in this year's draft. He is 214 pounds, 87 kilograms. He's 6'4" and 194 centimeters. He is a big boy as well. He's pretty much NHL size already, as most people are saying. In his career, he has played in 80 games, 40 goals, 52 assists, 92 points. So I believe it's 2 years in the minors. He's almost at 100 points already. That's not too bad, especially for a center who's got a big build, which is something we do not have in Detroit. We don't have a center with a big build, so he could slot in, moving Larkin to the second line between Bertuzzi and Mantha. I could see that happening as well. And then I put Jamie Drysdale. He's projected to be the number 1 defenseman this year's draft. I don't know if we'll go out and get another defenseman, especially because I see us drafting high. I think he's projected, Lafreniere was projected to go first or second. Most of them were first. Bayfield's supposed to be first, second, depending on which site you use. Jamie Drysdale, he's projected to go, I want to say about 11th, 12th, somewhere around there. So a little bit later, and I don't see us drafting that late. I can't see us passing up either one of these 2 for him, especially after picking up Sider this year. In our defense, we have a couple decent defensemen. We don't have top-tier defensemen yet, but I don't think we could pass up a center or a winger for a defenseman. But I figured slap him on there, so I have one of each position. He is 165 pounds, 75 kilograms. He's 5'11", 180 centimeters. In his career, he's played in 77 games, 12 goals, 47 assists, and 59 points. I believe he's only played in 1 minor league season so far for the Canadian teams. 2. He's played in 2. Sorry, I have to look at the notes again. Didn't have enough room to write all the years they've done. But yeah, he's playing well, doing good. I think that, again, any one of these 3 would be great for the Red Wings right now. We need help in almost every position. Definitely think either one of these 2 would definitely be good for the Red Wings. So we definitely, in my opinion, want to be drafting first or second in this year's draft. We definitely could use another great forward winger who can score, or someone who can be big, physical, and maybe make Larkin a second line center and make 2 lines somewhat deadly. But yeah, that's my pretty much an opinion of why the Red Wings are the worst team in the league and why we should stay the worst team in the league. That's, again, just my personal opinion as a Wings fan. You guys let me know in the comment section below and tell me what you guys think. Do you agree if they're the worst team? And do you agree with my thoughts on what I've talked about so far today? If you guys enjoyed the video, go ahead and give me a like and a share. Give me a subscribe. And I will talk to you again soon. Thanks.